Could it be?
Could be. Looks like a lot of important
Somebody
people.
looking for an employee? I don't know.
I have my resume right here.
Well, maybe say your piece and maybe somebody will hire you.
Oh,
How's
okay.
that?
Okay. Thank you, young man.
Yes, ma'am.
Can I tell you a single?
No.
In case you're interested. It's not blocking your view, is it? Okay. Well, my name is Miss Polly Esther, and I'm from a little place in Arkansas called Calico Rock. Next to nothing. Should I be talking in here? Can you all hear me? Okay. I'll move it over here. I'm sure this will block your view. Anyway, I came from a real little town because, and come up here because the town's so small, there's not much industry going on there. I mean, that town is so small that the veterinarian and the taxidermist are the same person. As a matter of fact, he's got a sign above his door that says, either way, you get your dog back. Biggest industry there is a 400-pound Avon lady. She's kind of protective of her job. So anyway, I come up here, and I should probably tell you a little bit about how I got my name as Polly Esther, because it is a little bit unusual. Well, my mom was a seamstress, our mother, because I have sisters. And my youngest sister, she got off lucky, because by the time my oldest sister and myself got through her sewing period, then Patty Cake, my mother was a baker, so she liked to bake. Well, I didn't have it so bad, but my older sister, Seersucker, I'm telling you, she had a rough time in school with a name like that. We just hoped that our mom gave up that sewing business. But anyway, I have my resume, and I wanted to tell you that I've been married 5 times, and I come up looking for a job, so I went to this bank, first thing, and there was a man there that they told me I'd have to see. Not any of you related to Mr. Cobb, are you? Good. So anyway, I went to the receptionist, and I said I would like to apply for a job. And she says, well, you'll have to take a seat. He's quite busy. So I sat out there, and I sat there for the longest time. I just thought, well, this is going to take past noon. I may even have to bring my lunch. But anyway, pretty soon I could see Mr. Cobb peeking around the window and everything, and I got called in because I figured that he probably thought, well, if I don't take her in, she's not going to go home, which he was right. So I go in there and I give him my spiel and my recommendations, and I told him that I was really looking for a nice job and that I thought I could qualify for his job. And I said, you know what, I'd come up here on practically a shoestring, so if you wouldn't mind floating me one of them there loans so I could get a credit card. And he listens to me, and he looks at me, and he looks over his glasses, and he says, ma'am, he says, you're a hick, aren't you? I said, well, I told you I was from Arkansas, so I guess I am. And he says, well, do you know what we do with hicks in the city? And I said, no, sir, but I do know what we do with Cobbs in the country. Needless to say, I did not get that job. But anyway, I decided I would live with my cousin Effie. She's up here, and she probably needs the help because she's getting kind of feeble. And when I moved in, I had 3 of my husbands were cremated. That was their request. But I did wait till they died. So anyway, I was unpacking my stuff, and I put the urns on the mantle, and I hear some noise, and I turn around, and all of a sudden, Effie's just bawling her eyes out. And I said, Effie, honey, why are you crying? And she says, oh, Polly, she said, I've never been married, and you have husbands to burn. Well, anyway, I asked Effie, I said, do you ever date? She goes, no, I've tried, but she says, I've never had any dates. So I said, well, you know, you're not getting any younger. And she said, well, I'll tell you what. She says, when I die, I don't want one man pallbearer there. And I said, well, why not? She said, honey, if they didn't take me out when I was alive, they ain't taking me out when I'm dead. So anyway, I guess that's her request. But I decided while I was here, I'd do something for fun. So I went to the big city, and I got on an elevator, and I thought I looked pretty good. I mean, how do you like my outfit? I got this at Eleanor Roosevelt's yard sale. But anyway, I'm used to wearing hand-me-downs because I didn't mind so much growing up, but I'll tell you what, those bronze baby shoes like that killed me. I didn't think I'd get through school with that at all. But anyway, I went to the big city and I was all dressed up, and I get on this elevator and I'm on there all by myself, and I go to the next floor. Well, this real handsome young man gets on. So we go to the next floor, and some young pretty thing gets on, and he looks at her. He just ignores me. And he walks up to her and he goes, "Oh, ma'am," he said, "your perfume is just lovely." She goes, "White diamonds, 75 cents an ounce." And she kind of snubs me. So we go to the next floor. Same thing happened. Another pretty young thing gets on, and he gets between him, and he goes over to the other lady and goes, "Oh, ma'am," he said, "your perfume is just intoxicating. What are you wearing?" And she said, "Well, this is Chanel number 5, $110 an ounce." She looks over her shoulder at me and snubs me. We get to the next floor, which is my floor, and I have to step between them to get out. So I do, and you know what happens sometimes when you get old and you're walking and you really don't know what's going to happen, and it just happens. Yeah, I see some of you women that are laughing, you know it's. So anyway, I step out and I break wind, and I don't even flinch. I just flip my skirt and I go, "Broccoli, 29 cents a pound, $1.29 a pound." And they just really just shut that door as fast as they could. But anyway, I decided too what I would do is that I would take a bus trip while I'm waiting on a job interview. So far, nobody's called, so I have plenty of time. Well, about 3 months later, it was time to go on this bus trip. And I had bought a new outfit. Well, I had nothing to do from the time I booked the trip till time to go, so I just ate, and I visited with Effie, and we just sat around, watched TV, and ate. Well, I began to gain more weight than what I expected to. So I got ready to put my new dress on to go on the bus trip, and it's very tight. And I thought, oh, I think it's going to be okay, though. So I'm the first one in line to get on the bus. So I try to step up, and I can't get my leg up on the step. So I thought, well, if I reach back and just unzip the skirt just a little bit, maybe I could get up on that step. So I unzipped it a little bit, and nothing happened. I still couldn't. So I tried the other leg and unzipped it a little bit more. Still couldn't get on that bus. Third time I unzipped my skirt a little bit, some man behind me grabbed me by the waist and shoved me on that bus. And I go, "Oh, thank you, sir." I said, "I didn't think I was going to be able to get on this bus." He said, "Ma'am," he said, "you had to. You unzipped my pants 3 times." He didn't see me the whole trip. He stayed clear of me. But anyway, I wanted to tell you a little bit about my husbands. The 4th husband, I thought he was very faithful. We were just so much in love. And on his deathbed, he said, "Polly," he said, "can I have one last request?" And I said, "Why, sure, honey." And he said, "Well, you know that fine bottle of Irish whiskey that Mike, my friend, best friend, left for me?" And I go, "Yes." He said, "Would you take it out to the cemetery after I die?" And he said, "Pour a little on Mike's grave as a toast, and then pour the rest on my grave." And I said, "Okay, I'll do that for you." So after the reading of the will, I found out that he had not been faithful. And he had been very stingy with me. But he left his secretary $50,000 and a new car. And I thought, well, I'm not going to do what he requested. I'm just going to let it go. And then I got to thinking, well, that's not the way the Lord works. So I thought, I'll honor his request. So I go out there with a fine bottle of Irish whiskey, like he says, and I pour some on Mike's grave as a tribute, and then I pour the rest on his grave. I just hope he doesn't mind that it went through my kidneys first.